Starbucks just dropped some big news this morning. The coffee giant is hiking prices again, anywhere from 5 to 20 cents more on many of their drinks starting today. On the surface, that might sound like just another price adjustment. But behind the scenes, Starbucks executives are panicking, and not for the reason most people think. The boycott is trending online? That's only part of the story. The truth runs deeper, and it exposes something far more troubling about what's really happening inside the world's most famous coffee chain. Walk into any Starbucks today and take a look around. You'll notice something strange. Most of what's being served doesn't even look like coffee anymore. That grande caramel frappuccino everyone loves? It's basically a milkshake with caffeine. A sweet, creamy sugar bomb dressed up as a sophisticated coffee drink. Even the small frappuccinos have over 30 grams of sugar. That's more than a can of Coke. Your vanilla latte isn't innocent either. It's swimming in flavored syrup that tastes nothing like real vanilla beans. It's not hard to see why people get hooked. Starbucks has engineered these drinks to hit every pleasure point in your brain, sweet, creamy, and comforting. But in doing so, we've drifted miles away from what coffee was supposed to be. Traditional coffee has two ingredients, coffee beans and water. At Starbucks, it's a chemistry lab, with ingredient lists longer than prescription labels. Artificial flavors, high fructose corn syrup, stabilizers, and chemicals most people can't even pronounce. And yet, the marketing genius is undeniable. Starbucks convinced millions that these sugar-filled concoctions are premium coffee experiences. Your barista isn't really making coffee anymore, they're running a high-end candy shop that happens to sell caffeine. These drinks have more artificial additives than a snack cake, but people sip them every morning thinking they're making a healthy, grown-up choice. Health experts have been sounding the alarm for years. A single venti drink can pack over 600 calories, nearly a third of your daily intake before breakfast. But people keep saying, it's just coffee. Except it's not. When your coffee needs whipped cream, caramel drizzle, and 3 syrups to taste good, it stopped being coffee a long time ago. It's an ultra-processed beverage, engineered to be addictive, not enjoyable, not even satisfying, just addictive. And here's where it gets worse. Starbucks isn't just charging you with your health, they're charging your wallet, too. That plain cup of coffee that used to cost $1 and change? It's now over $3 in most stores. And the beans inside? They're worth maybe 30 cents. Since 2009, Starbucks has raised prices nearly every year. They'll say it's supply chain issues or rising labor costs, but somehow, their profit margins keep growing while yours shrink. Compare that to your local coffee shop. You can get a handcrafted latte made with freshly roasted beans for half the price. Local cafes don't have shareholders breathing down their necks demanding constant growth. They just want to make good coffee and keep their doors open. But Starbucks adds sneaky upcharges that pile up fast. Oat milk? 60 cents more. An extra espresso shot? 75 cents. Suddenly, that morning coffee costs more than lunch used to. The strangest part is how normalized this became. People know they're paying $5 or $6 for a drink they could make at home for under $1, and yet, they line up anyway. It's become part of modern life, overpriced coffee as a daily ritual. Meanwhile, competitors like Dunkin' and Dutch Brothers are taking notes. They're offering similar drinks at better prices, and in many cases, with better taste. Dutch Brothers especially has built a loyal fan base with lower prices and more genuine service. Their baristas actually seem happy to be there, a stark contrast to the burnout you can feel in a busy Starbucks during rush hour. But let's talk about taste, because this is where Starbucks' illusion really starts to crack. For a company that claims to serve premium coffee, their beans taste burnt, over-roasted. Critics have pointed this out for years. Starbucks coffee often has a bitter, charred flavor, like it's been left on the fire too long. Why? Because they over-roast on purpose. That dark, smoky flavor masks inconsistencies in the beans. It's easier to create the same taste everywhere if everything tastes a little burnt. Local coffee roasters do it differently. They get beans delivered fresh, sometimes within days of roasting. Fresh beans mean vibrant flavor and natural sweetness. Starbucks beans might sit in warehouses for weeks before ever being brewed. And when you combine stale beans with automated espresso machines, you get a drink that tastes consistent, but never great. That's the trade-off Starbucks made, consistency over craftsmanship. Local baristas adjust grind size, milk texture, and flavor for every cup. Starbucks baristas push a button and wait 30 seconds. Efficiency wins, flavor loses. And customers are starting to notice. More people now say they prefer the taste of local coffee shops, not because they're coffee experts, but because it simply tastes better. Yet Starbucks somehow remains the face of good coffee. That's the power of branding. They built a global empire by selling the idea of sophistication, not actual quality. They've mastered the art of making the same average cup thousands of times a day. And for years, that was enough. But now, the coffee landscape has changed. There are over 38,000 independent coffee shops in the U.S. alone, more than double the number 15 years ago. While Starbucks focused on expanding globally and raising prices, local cafes quietly multiplied, offering something Starbucks can't replicate: authenticity. Walk into a neighborhood cafe, and you'll find pastries baked that morning, not frozen and reheated. You'll hear baristas who remember your name, your favorite drink, and maybe even what book you're reading. These places smell like fresh coffee and real food, not caramel syrup and microwaved sandwiches. Local cafes host poetry nights, art shows, and live music. They're real community hubs. Try sitting at a Starbucks for 4 hours with one drink and see how long it takes before you get the side-eye from staff. The chain that once promised to be the third place between home and work has turned into a fast food factory for caffeine. Meanwhile, local shops are flexible. They adjust to what their customers want. A cafe in a beach town might serve iced drinks year-round. One near a school might create a special blend for finals week. Starbucks can't do that. Every store, from New York to Nebraska, follows the same corporate script. Even when you do stick with Starbucks, the experience is getting worse. Morning rush hour? Total chaos. Lines wrap around the store, mobile orders pile up on the counter, and the drive-thru looks like a caffeine traffic jam. Baristas juggle dozens of complex custom orders: oat milk, light ice, 2 pumps caramel, 1 pump mocha, no whip. It's endless. Mobile ordering was supposed to make things faster. Instead, it made everything slower. Now, staff are overwhelmed by app orders while in-store customers wait longer. Drinks sit on the counter getting cold because no one knows whose they are. And turnover doesn't help. Constantly training new workers means inconsistency and frustration, both for staff and customers. Then there's the rigidity. Ask for something slightly different, less syrup, extra foam, or a different milk ratio, and you'll often get a polite "sorry, we can't do that." The machines are automated, the recipes locked in. That personal touch is gone. Local cafes don't just allow customization, they thrive on it. They make your drink your way. And don't even get started on the rewards program. It sounds great: free drinks, loyalty points, special offers, until you realize it's designed to trap you. You have to buy specific items, at specific times, to earn enough stars. Miss a double star day? Too bad. The system rewards spending more, not loyalty. In the end, Starbucks became everything it once claimed not to be: a corporate machine. A place where every drink, every policy, and every interaction is dictated from a headquarters thousands of miles away. There's no room for creativity, no space for local personality. The irony is painful. The company that promised to be the cozy, personal third place now feels as impersonal as a drive-through window. Meanwhile, independent coffee shops are thriving, not because they have fancy branding, but because they actually care. They know your name. They ask about your day. They make your drink by hand, not by algorithm. And as more customers wake up, literally and figuratively, they're realizing that what Starbucks sells isn't really coffee. It's convenience, habit, and illusion. For years, that was enough to keep the lines long and the profits high. But with rising prices, declining quality, and fierce local competition, the cracks are starting to show. Starbucks built an empire by selling the experience of coffee, not the essence of it. But the world is changing. Customers want authenticity, community, and taste, not just another burnt, overpriced cup with their name spelled wrong on the side. The truth is, Starbucks isn't brewing coffee anymore. It's brewing nostalgia for a version of itself that doesn't exist. And that might be the most expensive drink of all.